It's now 11:30 p.m. I can't stop crying. I can't help but think about of course, all the good times that we had. I don't feel any shame or blame or guilt. It's just nuts that I contemplated showing up on Friday. I'm glad I did not give an impact statement. I embodied full neutrality. I had faith that speaking my truth with neutrality was going to set us both free. Because the truth sets us free. He wasn't going to do jail time, but he didn't want to stick around to hear it. I feel like I always imagined the best version of himself. I always imagined the best version of himself. And just always gave him that benefit of the doubt while I did all my inner work. And the inner work manifested in the result of this whole trial. But I couldn't save him. He had to save himself. Like, I know I need to be documenting all of this, but I thought it would be easier just to talk, but it's not. I'm just feeling it today.
Mom was worried about me. She was the only person in my family who checked in. She drove from Utah. Don't feel pressure to rearrange your whole day for me. I just want to see for myself if you're really doing okay. You've been through major trauma, and I want you to know that I'm here for you. I was not emotional. I just wanted to be able to express myself without people freaking out. I've always been a journalist, lone wolf, and researcher. And for now, I felt like I was just researching my own observations and thoughts. This was new territory. Mom said that she was impressed with how I was handling everything. Wow, you really seem to be doing well. I'm impressed. Maybe I'm the one who's just not okay. Mom, do you want to talk about this? I extended an offer for us to talk about what's on her heart. I just keep replaying everything in my mind. I know that I told the truth to the best of my ability. I interrupted her with reassurance. Mom, I promise you that there's nothing you could have said or done to have a different outcome in this. We both know you did your best. I promise. You're okay. I have just been tortured by this since Thanksgiving, and I can't imagine you going through this for 2 years just for it to end like this. I don't know how you're coping. I really don't. She stayed for a couple hours, and we talked more about the case. I didn't want her to leave without feeling confident that we did the right thing. After she left, I called Scott and told him the news. Oh, Angel, this was not your fault. Please know that this was not your fault. I'll light a candle for him. I've always been grateful to have him near. For the first time in a long time, I felt lost. I felt that God had left me. In this pain, I couldn't remember who I was anymore. Nothing mattered anymore. I went to a metaphysical shop and bought a white candle of a man and woman fused together with a wick coming from out of their heads. Twin flame, I thought. After I bought the candle, I went to my favorite sushi restaurant. The special of the day was "To my lover," with a heart as the O in lover. Of course, hearts. I instantly remembered what hearts meant to me. Kevin expressed his love to me in hearts, I remembered. I couldn't hold myself together in the sushi restaurant. My eyes welled up with tears, and I imagined him sitting across the table from me with both his hands stretched out. I saw his concerned face with love in his eyes, even shaking his knee nervously as he used to do under the table. I sensed him being there for me, showing me that he loves me and that everything is going to be okay. Don't worry, I felt him say. I went home and created an altar and put the twin flame mala around the candle. I grabbed everything I could that had his energy on it, the tanzanite engagement ring, the Tree of Life leather journal, and the quartz crystal that he used to meditate with. I wrote a letter to Kevin, asking to feel his presence when I mourn. I needed to feel his energy again. After a couple of days laying around the apartment, I decided it was time to do something to feel good. Maybe getting my nails done would put me in a better mood. I made an appointment with the same woman who's been doing them for over a year. She hardly spoke English with me, but she was the best in the salon for ombre French tip nails. And I had them done the same way every time, every other week. This time, it was different. As she was finishing up, she said, "This one's for you, no charge," as she created a perfect heart with silver paint on each of my ring fingers. My eyes welled up with tears, and I just couldn't contain it. My ex-husband, I lost him a few days ago, I said while she smiled at me. The next day, I reached out to an Akashic reader for more support. "I don't know what I want," I said to her. "I'm just looking to feel peace in all of this. Let's look and see in the Akashic records," she guided. "Yes, he's definitely your twin flame. Wow, it appears that he's in his life review right now. I'll ask permission if we can join." Yes, we can join in. Kevin is at the I am consciousness, and from all the work you've done, you're allowed to be present. Your consciousness is at the universal God consciousness. So well done. There's a council here. It looks like a courtroom, but of course no one is in trouble. We're just reviewing his life. He gets to be his own judge. He says he's very sorry. He says that he used to be very impatient with you, and he's not that way at all now. He says he was contracted to have this experience of suicide and that his death was not about you. He says he has been with you while you've been mourning, trying to comfort you. My ears were getting hot when I felt his presence. Was that him? Because when we were married, I told him my ears got hot when I felt the presence of his spirit. Yes, that's him. He remembered. He transitioned for a reason, to help the collective on the other side for what's to come. It looks like there was no alternate route. You both had a soul contract to experience this for each other. I received clarity, compassion, and understanding through our session together. I was grateful, as she was only an acquaintance through a friend. She did not know anything about my personal life or this twin flame connection before me reaching out. I spent a few more days under the radar, sitting in my apartment journaling. I mourned, grieved, and wept. On the 7th day, I created a video of myself and Kevin with our happy memories and put them on YouTube. It was my way of letting go. by honoring our memories in the best light possible. Seeing us happy was all I wanted to remember about our time together. What I didn't see coming was the 15 new subscribers commenting on the video, wishing ill upon me. They were his closest circle of friends and family. At first, I questioned how they found the video. Then I remembered that Kevin subscribed to my channel just days before the trial. His phone must have set off an alarm to whoever was the new custodian of his phone. I was not prepared for what I saw. Private message from JJ Friel. You are not divine, and there is no grace in what you've done. You're the scum and trash of this earth. I feel pity for you and hope however much they paid you to testify was worth it. How could you be motivated to be such an evil demon? Hypocrite, lying, stripping whore. The truth does not feel good to say, but you must carry this burden. Do not contact any more of his friends. Public comments on my YouTube video. Quit victimizing yourself. Everyone knows the truth, wishes it were you. You're a psychopath and a lost cause. You have some serious mental health problems. This amazing young man is dead because of you. You are a murderer, Bree. You're the reason why all of this happened. If you so-called loved him, you wouldn't have put everyone through this. On my memorial video of Kevin, it's disgusting that this woman, and I use this term very loosely, posted this video. Kevin kicked you to the curb because of all the trouble you caused. If you had never been a part of his life, you are sick and twisted. You made Kevin feel like this was his only option out because of the lies you told everyone. Would you like me to tell everyone what Kevin told me about the night in question? Probably not. I suggest you take this down and quickly. Karma is going to get you one of these days. A comment from a woman on my Facebook post. This truly reads as rambling incoherence from someone who hasn't slept in days and only eats Adderall. You brag and boast about yourself while not actually accomplishing anything. One of our own ended his life because you are so sick and low, and you chained him underwater and sank him. You call that divine grace? If you were anything like what you claim to be, he'd be thriving and elevated, wouldn't he? Get help. You're off the rails, and your posts show a developing, evolving sickness. You're mentally ill. A thread on someone's public social media post. We need to find her, even if we all have to chip in for private investigators. This is overall sad for all of us friends and for his family in this time of loss and grief. She doesn't deserve to play victim. It's her fault he's gone. I fully agree with you, but Bree needs to be held accountable for what she had caused for Kevin. He was a wonderful friend and classmate, my brother, and I will never forget him at all. He was always there for us when we were in school with him and played soccer with him for years. She needs to die a very slow death. Karma will get this piece of shit. She knew what this false allegations would do to Kevin. She knew what being court-martialed, losing his wings, and being dishonorably discharged would do to him. The pride he had for his country was as pure as it gets. She led a great brother, son, and friend to do something he should have never and would not have ever done had this bitch not slandered his name. My heart breaks for the family and those of us who knew him. A friend of Kevin's on my social media. Fuck you, you are a murderer. I hate everything about you. Kevin was a pure soul and you are hell. I hope the guilt of killing him finds you fast. I hate you to the end of the earth and back. He was a great man and you are the devil's shit. I hate you for taking Kevin from us. Fuck you and your entire life. Go to something lower than hell. His last name is not yours. Erase it because you don't deserve his beautiful name, you shameless, ugly, nasty, horrid, evil murderer. The American Military News published an article saying, a Facebook commenter on the popular Air Force AMN/NCO/SNCO page claimed to be a close friend of Larson and said Larson was court-martialed over false charges alleged by his wife. I learned that the story Kevin left with everyone was horrific. His friend, Lee Sterling, who knew the truth, said this on a public forum. The court took lunch. He was an extremely close friend of mine. His wife had a drug dealer and got off her antidepressants and randomly called the police while he was at work, saying he beat her naked in their front yard and that there's drugs in the house. After the police found the drugs, he was investigated. due to the house being in his name since his wife was a stripper with no job except selling pyramid schemes. This man fought for his troops during a really hard time in our squadron and spent a lot of time and money to make sure to always keep morale high. I know for a fact that he was wrongly convicted simply because of how well I knew them both, as well as how hard the investigators tried to coerce me into lying about him being a drug user, woman beater. 11 hours of interrogation with no bathroom break. The Air Force killed an innocent captain today, one that stood up for it when no one else would. I can't wait to hear the virtue signaling bullshit about suicide prevention and what could have been done differently after this. Mark Gonzalez, Kevin's dearest rave bestie, who was also our best man at the Bremerton wedding from Los Angeles, California, wrote on his public social media, "Last Sunday, one of my best friends, honorary brother, and all-around epic human being passed. I've been in shock and my heart feels broken." Kevin's story ended tragically. Without going into detail, Kevin was taken advantage of by someone I can only classify as evil, a parasite. This person set out to destroy him. Tina Gorman shared my YouTube video, adding her thoughts in the caption. "Please help me make this post go viral. She thinks she can hide by taking down all her sites. You can run, but you cannot hide." This person, who calls herself Bree Divine, professes her love by posting this video on YouTube 8 days ago, personally declaring that she would destroy him. Well, destroy him she did. To the point of despair, she murdered him with her lies and manipulation. Fortunately, I will not be the one to pass judgment, but when her judgment day comes, there's a special place reserved for her.
And I'm a reporter with the Review Journal in Las Vegas, and I'm writing a story about what happened to your brother, and I wanted to reach out and kind of see if you guys wanted to share some stories about him, to kind of paint a picture of who he was and what kind of person he was. If you can give me a call back, you can get me at my cell phone, which is 561.
The public ate up the lies, and I was appalled at the colorful images people drew about me. Names I knew and once loved, even names I had never seen before, stating themselves as a witness to my character. Some people, who were the ones who actually partied with Kevin, also chimed in with their version of the story that supported the lies, including but not limited to JJ Friel, Lee Sterling, and Mark Gonzalez. JJ and Lee being active duty in the U.S. Air Force. I couldn't go another moment with friends sending me screenshots of what was being said about me. I went digging on my computer to see if there was anything I had to prove my innocence. I dug deep in my computer's trash bin and uncovered the video of Kevin admitting to the drugs. I edited it, clipped out the names of the people he mentioned, and posted it on YouTube for all my subscribers to face the truth.
Yes, I know you're trying to help. And that is the only reason why, this is still, something.
Kevin.
But you can't expect me just to flip the switch and not think, Jesus Christ, my whole life is coming to like the point where I can get thrown in prison. Like, I'm not going to prison. I'm not. I will not go. Are you hearing me? I will not go.
I hear you. What are you trying to say?
I'm telling you, I will not go to prison. Like, I don't care if I get convicted and whatever, I'm not going. Like, I will not go to prison. I don't know what I'll do, but I will not go. I'll flee the country or whatever. I won't go. Like, I just want to tell you, like, you've done so much irreparable damage. Like,
It's not, okay, can we at least just agree that, like, it's not like I was the one that came into the relationship with my own drug deal, with my own drug, and my planning family.
like, it's, everything was done in a positive manner. Like, his existence in my life was for positive reasons.
I know, you don't deserve.
The stuff that was in the house was here for positive reasons.
I know, I get that. That's why I'm trying to make everything right. But I felt like you're the reason why all this happened. Like, I wouldn't be trying to work this out either.
I understand. I know what I did. I know exactly what I did. I know why I did it. I know how I did it. I know all of that stuff. And it was all done in the safest manner possible to protect everyone. Because when I did that shit, I cared about everyone. Like, my actions are not selfish.
That's not gonna make that happen. You're not gonna do it.
What do you think happens if they convict me? They just kick me out of the Air Force and I'm like, oh, that's it, you're done, bye. Not at all. I'm trying not to be. First of all, this is what I need. Like, I need to separate myself from the situation, come up with a clear thought process and clear plan. One, we don't know what he said is usable or how much it's admissible in court and what they can use. I need to talk to Jack. He is going to write a letter saying he was terrified. They came into his house, he didn't know who they were, they didn't show badges, they told him to put away his kitchen knife, and then they started questioning him. That's what happened.
Oh, wow.
Like, they showed up straight at his door. So, when that happened, he was like, he looked out the window and was like, oh, fuck. And so he assumed that they had told much more. So he said that I had purchased from him like a half a dozen times. I had purchased e-pills and I had purchased shrooms. And I don't know all these details. Friday night.
How come we didn't talk to him sooner?
I tried to.
Did you
Yeah.
tell him that they were going to try questioning him?
I had to talk to him and he said, I have no idea who OSI is. He has no idea.
Well, then we should have
I know, but he had no idea who OSI was. He has no idea he has no idea how they knew who he was.
Hey dude, they're going to question you. Like, how come they didn't, like...
Because we went off the assumption that you said his name is...
Yeah.
That's his last name. How were we supposed to know that they knew that that was the same movie? And when he didn't know who they were, I was like, I was stupid. Yeah, I can't go back to that. I think about it now, I'm like, I should have just fucking warned him anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to freak him out and get him all worried up if they had, which he didn't know who they were. And they said they dealt with him before.
Yeah, I can see where you took the gamble because you're like, I don't want to freak him out and then jeopardize everybody.
Yeah. And him, like, his story is he got caught once before by Metro. And he worked a deal with Metro to get the guy above him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so he got off free, and they let him go back to selling. Like, they don't care. They got, like, his distributor. Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah. So, but he went straight back to selling. Like, he just assumed, like, that if he worked with them, it was going to be better for him.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what he is like. Like, I know he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And like, he felt like shit. Like, he came in the car, he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I panicked. Like, I rat out the guy above me before to get out of it before. Like, when they came to me, like, I got scared, and like, I assumed that they knew more than they did because of this, and like, I confessed this and I confessed that. And he told me. And like, he's like, dude, I'm meeting with my lawyer on Monday. I'm gonna like see what I can do to help you. I'm gonna write a letter saying like, yeah, I was intimidated, like I was in duress, like these people came into my house, didn't know who they were, they didn't show badges, they told me to put away my kitchen knife, and then they started recording me. Like,
See, that doesn't sound so bad.
I know, but I don't know what of it is admissible in court and can be used in court against me. Like, this is the thing. Like, I need to figure out what can't be used against me as evidence. Like, that's the thing. He goes back and says no, and they say, well, shit, we can't use that. And your statement, well, shit, we can't use that. Yeah. Like, if those now become inadmissible in court, and these are the new things, like, they have nothing on me. But this is all assumption. Like, I don't know if, like, he said it once, yeah, they'll put that up there, and they'll put up, well, he says now this. But, so I don't, like, that. I can't help but think how stupid I was for not like talking to him, telling him. But at the time, I was like, it's probably best. Like, they don't know who he is. Like, he doesn't know who they are. Like, don't worry him panicking into something like that he lashes out or reaches out or something like that, trying to save himself.
And through all of this, my message is love and trying to defend us. And I know that doing my best is not perfection. You doing your best isn't perfection.
Journal entry, January 28th, 2020. I woke up this rise and meditated. I called upon Archangel Michael and Raphael to assist me in my healing. Used Reiki mixed with intuitive protection. Protection of mind, psychic, physical, heart, energy. I protected myself with a visual of the fire opal and moonstone. I dance and move so differently now, with a steadiness that is present. I feel connected with the music and my soul. Today is a good day. I noticed socks on my counter. This is a good thing, because I can't tell you why or how long they've been there. Every phase I go through is initiated by a separation. This separation can be due to a breakup, loss of a loved one, getting let go of a job, the dawning of sobriety, or simply depression. Regardless of this cause, separation is a form of trauma. We all cope differently, heal at different paces, and see new perspectives that we are unfamiliar with, like a rebirth, where a newborn is unable to articulate their experiences, yet taking it all in as if for the first time. Then something magical happens. With all the information we have gathered by observing in this new space, we realize there's something we can do about our experience. We want to be part of it, so we reach out our hand. We make that first fist without prejudgment of any consequence. It's a good day today, because I am reborn. Today, I did something about the socks. The rest of the day is mine to grab. I'm in a place where I know I've been before. Wisdom serves me with hope that this is only temporary. But not only that, I'm in love. I am in a space of a new beginning. It feels frightening, scary, vulnerable, naked, like a newborn baby. Yet now I embody the innocence with a knowing. Has this ever been done before? I allowed myself to feel it all. I feel everything with resistance, which becomes restrictions in my throat as I gasp for more air, yet it all came out of me instead of filling me up. Resistance feels like a steady suffering, and the begging for life is screeching of spirit filling a hollow room with no one to receive it. I pour my life source into this dark space of unknown. The only echo I receive is the vacuum of the void that requires more from me. I give more air until I have none left. So I call upon Source to replenish my lungs, and it fills me. All I can do is let go of resistance. let it all go. Sean Whalen and I went out again with all his buddies to Tao nightclub. Being around him was comforting, a big, strong masculine shield from the negativity that slithered its way into my vulnerable new world. As we waited for our table, I opened a message from a woman named Megan Silva. I didn't recognize her picture or her name. My heart raced as ugly and hateful words filled the screen. It wasn't long before Sean noticed my silence, looked over my shoulder, and took control of my phone before I could process what was said. He deleted the message and reminded me to be the queen that he knows I am. I put my phone away and did my best to compartmentalize these events that were all screaming in my face at the same time. I reminded myself to be present and enjoy the limited time I had with Sean. A few days later, Sean wrote a social media post that hit home. Next time you fuck up and want to be forgiven, next time your past comes back to haunt you, remember how quickly you crucified people and held someone's past over their head. One day, it'll be you in the spotlight. It'll be an accusation, a past transgression that'll rear its ugly head, and you'll see firsthand just how malicious and spiteful, angry, and bitter humans can be. Perhaps in that moment, you'll learn. His words inspired me to speak up. I reposted his words and added my thoughts on public display. Those who preach karma will come are the ones who don't know the truth. Yes, I survived and he didn't. Yes, I know the truth. Yes, I've made mistakes. And I live to tell the truth even when it doesn't make me look like the perfect saint. Guess what? The truth hurts. But guess what else? The truth is also medicine. Before you slander me once more, be sure and ask yourself if you're ready to know the truth, as I will publicly display it here. Ask yourself if you're ready for this level of raw truth. It will shadow the image of the man you grieve over. As I love him unconditionally, the truth has me feeling no different than the day I met and fell in love with him, despite the truth. Before you speak ill of me, know I am protected with truth, and I am ready to share it whenever you are. If you can swallow the pill of truth, and you're brave enough to address me by name, show me you with forgiveness in your heart. Show me you with compassion and stillness, because I have already mastered this pain. I do not fear you. I have endured my Gethsemane. Don't you see that for 23 months I was tried and tested? Don't you see that I have already faced my grandest trial? The only fear I faced was losing myself in the name of love. Yet, here I am standing here strong because of truth and love. Why? Because I am brave. Bravery doesn't accompany threats or hate. Bravery shows when you're trembling and choose to listen instead of burst out with anger. Bravery is standing before those who hate you with love. Bravery is being as strong as your hero would have liked you to be in the face of the one you feel deserves your love the least. I am brave because I've witnessed your hate and respond with love. I welcome you because I know he loves you, and I know he wants you to be brave too. P.S. I know karma has it out for me. I know karma has reserved a lover just for me, who is repaying me tenfold for the love I gave to Captain Larson. I responded to his acts with love, sacrifice, and service. I responded to our journey with divine love and grace, and I welcome and embrace karma, yes I do. As for your karma, I wish to stay out. For me to wish karma upon you, for the slander and unspeakable ugliness you crucified me with, I wish no karma on you for it. Karma would imply you speak with consciousness and you only speak with ignorance. In the name of karma, you cannot be held responsible for your ignorance. Seek to know the truth first, and then perhaps judge yourself before casting stones. No, I digress. Do not judge yourself. Please love yourself instead. Love yourself first. Then let's come together with love in the name of karma. Rest in peace, my love, Captain Larson. I received messages from women who knew Kevin and felt anger towards me. Meanwhile, I tried coping the best I could. The last person I thought would feel this way was a dear friend. I had sent her updates about his death after I knew his parents were given the news. I can't help but feel anger towards you, Bree, she said among other things that were understandable and even kind, but truly, that's the only part that stuck out that I cared to respond to. I don't blame you for feeling this way, but may I ask why you feel anger towards me? She called me right away. I'm sorry, Brie. I can't imagine what you're going through. This has been very hard for my husband and I, especially him, and I just hate seeing him this way. He went to work today and I don't know how he did it. I couldn't. I think I just feel all this hurt. I just don't know where to put it. I think I want someone to blame, and you're an easy target. Her maturity, expressing how she felt, was already comforting for my heart. I knew I was standing alone. I was yearning for someone who knew the situation and to hear my side. My Pilates instructor was subbing a 10:30 a.m. class. I told her I would go because I missed her class earlier in the week. Although I was sure I wouldn't wake up in time, I left it up to fate. I wanted to catch up on rest, but couldn't get myself to fall asleep. So I changed my alarm from 9:30 a.m. to off. Screw it, if it's meant to be, it'll happen, I said, and closed my eyes before seeing 3:33 a.m. on my lock screen. My eyes opened the next morning at 9:28 a.m. I wasn't even fazed by the oddity that I would wake up earlier than the 8 hours of sleep my body required to function kindly. I suppose I'm going to Pilates. I didn't have time to meditate, which was a first. I swear I'll do it when I get back, I said out loud, mentally keeping my angels accountable for my oath. I took Amora out, fed her, and rushed over to get the front row seat. I didn't know the morning studio attendees at all. The usual afternoon crowd understood that my assigned spot was to the left of the instructor's stage. I had been attending for over 18 months. People, including employees, assumed I was an instructor there. It was nice going to a place where people knew me and there weren't any surprises. As I left the studio, a brunette woman, maybe a couple years younger than me, quickly got off the phone, stood up, and boldly looked into my eyes. "Are you Brie Larson?" "Yes." Immediately, I knew what I was committing myself to. With one word, I committed to opening up. That's what I wanted anyway. I wanted to be heard and validated by someone who cared. "I have some questions for you." I knew Kevin. The tension was obvious between us. Our interaction already felt so odd. I don't think I've ever met anyone so intense for the first time before. "All right, what do you want to know?" The moment those words came out of my mouth, it was as if I had said, "Open sesame," because her facial expression shifted from stoic to hostile with her question that I didn't see coming. "Why did you testify knowing that the consequences of your actions would destroy Kevin's life?" First of all, I loved Kevin more than anyone. He was my twin flame, and I did everything in my power to save him. So before you accuse me of taking him down, you're going to have to rethink your accusations and accept that you know nothing about me. So if you want my answers, you better recognize who you're talking to. The tension was undeniable between us. I was feeling on edge and ready to walk away at any moment. "Okay," she said. "Do you have time to grab coffee?" "Yes, I do." We both started walking towards the escalators, feeling that both our walls were still up. "And who are you?" "I'm Brooke, Kevin's ex." "Oh, you're his ex." I'm learning he had quite a few of you exes since he and I split. "Yeah. All right, first things first, we need to clear the air," I said as we walked another quarter mile through the outdoor mall. "I was subpoenaed to testify." "Yeah, I heard that." "I didn't even want to be there. I came in and told the truth. That's it," I said, feeling confused, wondering how she knew this and still had a reason to be upset with me. By the way, I'm furious over the fact that he had a gun. He should not have had a gun. Someone gave it to him. We need to figure this part of the case out. "No one gave him a gun." "Wait, what do you mean no one gave him a gun? He stole it?" "No. He and I were dating during the summer. For his birthday, he asked for parts so that he could build himself a gun. I didn't know what for, so I bought him the parts he wanted. He built himself the rifle." My heart sank. I turned towards her and said, "I have wished unspeakable things upon the person who supplied Kevin with a gun." We walked in silence for a moment. "So then what's the truth? How did it get this bad in the first place?" It seemed that the missing piece to this story was in the beginning, aside from her lack of self-awareness. We arrived at Makers and Finders. The wait time was 10 minutes, so I continued with the truth. There was a domestic incident in February 2018. We both called the cops on each other. The cops asked if there was drugs in the house, and that's when I remembered that I caught him preparing to frame me a year prior. I had to make a choice. What would you have done, knowing that your husband who threw you out and called the cops on you and had a 2-hour head start? Tell me what you would have done. Her mouth hung open, like she was in shock over what I was saying. Okay, so I have something to tell you. Of course, I didn't know about the domestic violence. His story was that you told his commander out of spite because you were upset and suffering from anxiety or something. But anyway, I believe you because I actually have a close friend who looked into his past for me. Turns out, according to military records, which are hidden from public records, he was charged with domestic violence abuse in Texas and in Washington. He also had a DUI here in Nevada. I approached him about it and he got upset with me and of course denied it and called me crazy for looking into his life like that. I felt our energy shift immediately. We were now bonding. Bree, party of 2, the host called for us. Before entering the building, we were potentially enemies, and now sitting down, it felt like we were long lost friends. This is all mind-blowing right now, I admitted. I felt like a sponge. I wanted to soak in as much information about him as possible. I remember sitting down with him at the kitchen table when he got the letter listing all the charges. We had a heart-to-heart, and I know he didn't share this with anyone else. I think he would have wanted you to know this. She took a breath as I was hanging on every word. He admitted to all of it. He told me, I am guilty of all of this. And honestly, I think that's the only time he's ever said it. And I believe I'm the only person he told. Wow. Thank you. I believe you. What a gift. What a gift that I would be sharing a conversation over breakfast with this woman. We got very close. I think we got so close that he pushed me away. It was after I got him the parts for the gun. He told me, I've come to terms with how this is going to end, and you should too. I knew he meant suicide. He didn't say the words, I'm going to kill myself, but I knew what he meant. My only regret was that I didn't tell someone, she said, sipping coffee and slouching in her seat. I told someone. I know, I saw the charge. Oh yeah, and he was found not guilty. How insane is that? I told someone and it still didn't help. It was while we were still living together. I truly loved him. I'm sure you didn't know this either, but he became obsessed with making malas. He was so obsessed that he would freak my friend out. And this friend of mine is also spiritual, but he was turned off to Kevin's dependency on these stones that he stopped using gemstones in his meditations. Hold on. He was obsessed with making malas? Are you kidding me? Did you know that I make malas? Yeah, I saw your Instagram. You know, he was obsessed with you in general. Man, Kevin was such a joy, but also such a mess. Dog hair everywhere. I laughed. Oh, I know. Like 2 weeks into dating, I deep cleaned his house for probably the first time in years, it seemed like. Oh, I did the same thing when I started dating him. I was like, this poor house. He really couldn't live without a woman, I chuckled. And that kitchen table, stuff everywhere all the time, she added. I put my hands over my eyes. Oh, he was still doing that? Man, when we were together, I thought I trained him to leave the table clean. I used to take everything off the table and put his stuff on the stairs. Nope, he never learned. We laughed together and sipped our drinks at the same time. You know, she said in between laughs, I really didn't see this coming. I dreaded this. I walked into class and recognized you right away. I called my friend and he's like, just go to the later class. And I couldn't because of work. So I'm glad I stayed. The whole time, all I could think about was what I was going to say to you, if anything at all. This is a pleasant surprise. I agree, and I'm glad it turned out the way it did. I'm grateful. We finished breakfast and gave each other a hug.
They know that 20% of them have clinically high levels of emotional distress. They know that witnessing civilian casualties can make you 8 times more likely to have PTSD. They know all of this stuff. They just don't know what to do about it.
The shadow. For a few weeks, it felt like grieving came and went in waves. I couldn't accept his death. I kept flashing back to when I opened the text and saw the headline. The moment replayed over and over. It wasn't supposed to end this way. After a few days, I convinced myself that the report was wrong, that they made an error and faked his death. It made more sense to me that he was driving up to Mount Shasta to enter a portal into another world. Surely there was no gunshot, no standoff with the SWAT, no blood. He's alive, and he's waiting for me to join him. I must go to Mount Shasta. I grew convinced that people in the government would be in on his masterful exit to make it appear to be a suicide. That made more sense than accepting the idea that this could be my reality, that he was gone forever. After staying away from social media and other means of communication with the outside world, I started to accept reality and felt a sinking guilt. If I just didn't freak out on him on February 24th, he would have been alive today. If I didn't try to defend myself, he'd still be alive today. If I covered for him, wait, what would have happened to me? I called my lawyer. Hi, I just have a question. So if I were to, have covered for Kevin, even with my immunity, what would have happened to me? Well, you were swearing under oath. In hindsight, we know all the witnesses' stories matched up with yours. So if you did say the drugs belonged to you, etc., you would have been prosecuted under perjury since your story wouldn't have matched up. I felt like even though everything already happened, somehow if I researched every possible avenue of, but what if, maybe it could bring him back to life. All I could do was replay the YouTube video of our honeymoon compilation to bring me peace. Some would say that it is wrong to love someone who abused you, but I didn't see it that way. I felt that I saw him for his potential. I felt that I had enough love for the both of us until the day I die. I saw him for the light that he was when we were happy and when he was bringing joy in the world. He would never do wrong in my eyes, not even when he chose to use my words against me in court. He knew going into the courtroom what was at stake for the both of us. If he won, I would be prosecuted. If I won, he would be convicted. Even then, I never saw anything wrong with him. I recalled a conversation we had in our kitchen back in June, just before I found out that he was going behind my back hiking with that woman named Heidi. He said that he had a government contracting job lined up. It would pay him almost $200,000, and he told them exactly what was going on with the investigation. They said that they wanted to hire him anyway, and it wouldn't matter if he got dishonorably discharged. They told him that the only thing that would keep him from getting the position would be if he were in jail. As long as he could show up to work, he had a job. My lawyer advised me about the transitional compensation. I'll have to get back to you on the application. Since he fled the trial and is deceased, it may have affected how the transitional compensation applies to you. I was surprised by the news, but realized that money just didn't really matter anyway. It's fine. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me, but no worries, I said. About a week later, she called with good news. We set up an appointment to meet in person before my hot Pilates class. So this whole case has been a little weird, hasn't it? I said to her. This has been, by far, the most unusual case I have ever witnessed, she expressed. I couldn't help but laugh. This is honestly how my life works. I shrugged with a smile. I signed the paperwork. By the way, I brought a gift for you, I said, taking the present out of my backpack. It's a wrist mullah. I'll show you how to use it. I held it in front of her so she could count the beads along with me. I showed her the ascending and descending breathwork technique. It's really simple. I do this every morning and night. I hope you enjoy it. I love this. Thank you so much. I just really appreciate everything you've done for me. It's been a crazy couple of years, and you made this such a breeze, even when I felt like I was losing my mind at times. I know, it was pretty crazy, but honestly, you made it easy for me too. It's not easy when my clients are hurting every day. You've always had a positive attitude." I thanked her, and we closed with our pleasantries and wished each other well. I felt relieved for all of this to be over. A year ago, I wouldn't have accepted this. I would have felt guilty for receiving money for something Kevin did wrong. Today, I felt like justice and grace had been served in regards to this benefit. Later that day, at the end of Pilates, my heart skipped a beat when I saw Kevin's face in the side mirror. Then I thought, someone in here looks exactly like Kevin. I kept my eye on this person during the workout until I deliberately made motions with my arms to stand out among the crowd. Oh no, I've been staring at myself this whole time. For several days, I kept seeing Kevin's reflection in other people. I saw blue Corvettes, men who looked like Kevin from the side profile. I was even tempted to run up to them. I knew I needed to snap out of it, and I knew the right person to call. I met with Scott on February 24th, 2020. It was nice receiving a warm confirmation from him after keeping myself isolated since the incident. You've been through a lot these past couple of months. You have endured severe trauma. Then he asked how my physical health was doing. I'm all right. I mean, I have this lower abdominal pain and I'm not sure why. I held my stomach. He hummed while looking at the ceiling. Dairy. He nodded and advised it would be wise for me to cut dairy out from my diet. Dairy? I whined. But wait. My eyes grew wide. The pieces were coming together, so I let it all out. Scott, I said suspiciously, some weird things have been happening lately. When Kevin passed, I started seeing hearts everywhere. He's been visiting me in my dreams, and I've even been talking and dancing like him. I think I've adopted some of his mannerisms. Even a woman he dated texted me the other day saying that when she talks to me, it feels like he's still alive. I suppose he was obsessed with making malas as well. Recently with Amora, I was shocked at what came out of my mouth. Kevin used to call the dog collar necklaces. I always thought that was so cute, but I never adopted it because it was his thing. Well, just the other day, I said, "Let's put your necklace on." And I was shocked that these words came out. What's really odd is that I've never been allergic to anything ever. But Kevin was lactose intolerant, and I didn't start feeling ill like this until after he passed. Scott, of course, didn't say much, letting me gnaw on my own clues. "Let's take your Aura's photo," he said, draping a black cloth bib over me. I put my hand on the machine, and I relaxed into my meditative space while the machine did its magic. The photo printed. I'm the same color he took over 6 months ago, white. The description said, white, transcendent, transformation, imaginative, quiet, higher dimensions, spiritual. He did, of course, share some invaluable, wise advice before I left. "I know you love gifts, so I have a gift for you," I said. The night before the trial, I made this mala. I just prayed in my heart that everything would turn out in the highest and best good for Kevin and I. I stayed in a space of neutrality. I put so much love into this. It's black obsidian, amsonite gemstones, and pyrite spacers. The pendant in the center is a twin flame couple. I like to think the woman who has her arms around the man is me. He graciously accepted it and we hugged. Why does this feel like goodbye? I thought. A couple of weeks later, word came out that the strip club might shut down indefinitely. I decided to keep going for as long as I could, and that's when I bumped in to love again. "Hi, Divine. I just want to give you a heads up that we're looking for a couple more girls. We're doing a weekend getaway in Reno, and it's going to be a minimum of $5,000 per girl. It's just 2 nights, but you could potentially make $10,000. Let me know if you want to join us." This is going to be the last time I'm given an offer, I said to myself. Do you know these guys? Are they cute? How do you know them? No, they're not cute, but they're good energy. I'm all about energy, girl. You know this. I met them here and they spend a lot of money, she winked. I don't know how you do it, I said back. Why did I insist on being so polite? Inside, I was screaming. How I felt about escorting wasn't based on any moral code. Morals imply a right or wrong, and of course, there's no such thing. So this was purely out of preference for me. Perhaps I haven't quite figured out how to say, That's a terrible idea, and please don't approach me as one of you ever again. But that just didn't translate when I politely said, thanks, I'll let you know. Of course, sex and topless dancing are different, but probably not too far off to those who are disgusted by strippers and strip clubs without knowing what really goes on in there. I've heard people say that there's a slippery slope from stripping to escorting or whoring, but I learned that these vocations are most definitely not even cousins in comparison, unless the woman is dishonoring her boundaries and sold herself for money. In that case, this could be true. Yet, I personally knew of women who did this as a lifestyle, but they called it marriage. My preference and morals as a stripper was for men to not touch me, at least not uninvited. My preference was for men and women to admire me with respect. My preference was for women to feel beautiful and enjoy being with me. My preference was for others to smile and enjoy my company and vice versa. My preference was to deeply connect beyond the primal urges. For my preferences, I made just as much money or more than those who escort. I learned that those who enjoy escorting do it because it's their preference. So they get the same fulfillment out of servicing men for money. It all just comes down to preference. By mid-month, March 2020, the club shut down. I got lucky with some cash in my pocket thanks to a customer who paid me over $6,000 in one night because his heart felt for me and what I was going through. Another customer requested a massage at my studio, so I told him I'm holding dancing rates. He paid me $1,000 for a 2-hour massage. It was a few weeks into lockdown, and by then I had gotten myself into a routine of working out, cleaning, organizing, writing, cooking, and getting back onto a normal schedule. One day, I sat down at my kitchen counter, where I spent most of my time every day. I looked down and noticed my snakeskin patterned boots. How did these get here? I asked myself out loud. The last time I wore those was when I was out with Sean. I had been wearing tennis shoes or flip-flops during the entire lockdown. How and when did those shoes get there? Had they been there, sitting at my feet for an entire month and I didn't notice them? No, that can't be right. I ruled out every possibility that I could have left those shoes in such an obvious spot, right up against the kitchen island, for several weeks. Then it dawned on me. These shoes mean something. This is an interdimensional message to myself. Okay, now what does this mean? What do these shoes represent? I asked out loud. I thought about all the possibilities. They could mean that I'm going on a date soon, and the light bulb clicked on. Oh, I'm having a guest. I jumped around the room excitedly and exclaimed to Amora, Amora, we're having a guest. I instantly put the shoes away and started deep cleaning the apartment. Everything needed to be perfectly organized and clean. Over the following couple of days, I cleaned out my closet, pantry, junk drawers, bathroom cupboards, and bought new bed sheets. On April 7th, I received a message on social media from a guy I didn't know. Hey Bree, you're cute. Where are you from? I checked out his profile before responding. He was tall, blonde, fit, and very handsome. He had a couple photos where he referenced a fighter pilot and a couple others in a Captain America Halloween outfit, even some photos of him in American flag board shorts. Well, I certainly have a type, I thought to myself. He happened to be living in Utah, and we seemed to have a lot in common. We talked for several hours and decided it was time to chat face-to-face on Marco Polo. He was going through a tough divorce, and his story touched me. We talked on FaceTime for hours. We couldn't get enough of each other. Some things he mentioned were difficult for me to brush off as coincidence. We both didn't have any tattoos, but he explained that if he ever were to have one, it would be Anubis. I don't know what it is. I just feel a sense of spiritual connection with Anubis, he explained. I was finishing up with last-minute tidying when I sensed his energy approaching. My eyes caught the empty crystal vase, and I thought, maybe I should ask him to pick up some flowers on the way here. That's not rude, is it? He doesn't know me well enough yet. I'll just pick up some later. The doorbell rang, and there he was, holding a bouquet of red roses. I welcomed him in and told him he had no idea how happy I was to see him. We embraced, and it felt familiar, of course. I felt like we were catching up on lost time versus getting to know each other. I made us dinner, and we talked about life, love, and God, or the idea of God. We continued our conversation in the living room where he made himself comfortable with a long, fuzzy rug that he brought over, reminding me that Kevin always had a long, fuzzy rug. We'd fight about it often because I was the one who vacuumed, and I didn't like how well it hid dirt. Having 2 dogs in the house made it even worse. This guy's rug was brand new and soft, so I didn't mind it. While we talked, I laid on the couch and he sat on the rug with his back to the mirror. His reflection in the mirror looked exactly like Kevin's. I could have sworn I was talking to him. He was even wearing blue, a long-sleeved, thin hoodie that showed off his big muscles. "You look good in blue," I said to him mid-conversation. "Thanks. It's my favorite color." "Of course it is," I thought. He slowly stood up and walked towards me, leaving his cozy rug to sit on the couch and hold my face, looking deeply into my eyes. In my mind, I thought, the only way this could get any weirder is if he said what Kevin said to me on our first date. "You're so pretty. I could look at your face forever." Within moments, he echoed those words to me verbatim. I had already lost any sense to be shocked or surprised at anything anymore. So I just smiled and said thank you. "Kevin?" I looked into his eyes, searching for clues. Perhaps I was missing something. I looked closer. Then I saw it. His eyes were just like Kevin's. Not only blue, but golden around his pupils. I used to tell Kevin all the time, "You have sunflowers in your eyes." So I said to this man, "You have sunflowers in your eyes. Did you know that?" "What?" he asked, just as Kevin did the first time. "Your eyes. You have golden flower petals around your pupils. They're beautiful." Who is he? We continued to talk about our past relationships and lessons learned. He said that his first marriage failed because he cheated. When he told me this, I felt nothing. I didn't care to ask him details about it either. However, he felt the importance of coming clear with the situation, and I listened. I told him about the tragedy of my twin flame marriage. "I'm sorry." "It's okay. I just always wanted him to know that no matter what, he could never do wrong in my eyes. I always loved him, and I still do. He could never do wrong. It would be nice to have him around just a little bit longer." We started kissing and took our romance to the bedroom. The electricity that we felt was unlike anything I had ever experienced. Lip to lip, body to body. We made out slowly and softly for what felt like a couple of hours. Every once in a while, we released soft oohs, expressing our ecstasy with each other. "We aren't even high, and this isn't even the best part." I broke the silence. I wanted this experience to last forever. When we made love, it was a true connection. We both expressed downloads that we received while being plugged in with the divine. "This is what it means to be plugged in with the divine," he said. "I finally get it in real time. I understand this now." I assured him that it wasn't because of me. It was because of who I am and who he is coming into union. The downloads we shared were beyond anything we could have perceived alone. We continued this magic for a few hours until we both needed water and our bodies told us it was time to take a break. The night was still young, so we decided it was a fun idea to take a trip up the empty Las Vegas Boulevard. I threw something cute on just in case we'd walk the strip, so I grabbed my snakeskin patterned boots. It was the evening of April 12th, and the Las Vegas Boulevard was completely quiet, yet there were big and bold messages on almost every building. Hearts. Everywhere we looked, the hotels, sky rises, and casinos lit their room lights to create massive hearts. I felt like this whole experience was being smiled down upon me by Kevin. I smiled, keeping this secret to myself. We dragged the strip a couple of times, unable to find a place to pull over since all the garages and casino driveways were barricaded. Finally, he decided to stop the truck without warning and put it in park to take some quick photos. I looked to the right and I saw Gillies, Treasure Island, of course. He could have stopped anywhere on the strip, and he stopped exactly where Kevin and I met for the first time. We returned home, and the moment I walked in the door, I made my way over to the side of the kitchen island. I placed the snakeskin boots right where I first found them about a week ago. "Thank you," I said, respecting the divine portal. That night, everything felt right and at peace as we fell asleep into each other's arms. Before leaving the next day, he gave me a gift, a small bag of mushrooms and acid. Since we didn't get to do any of these last night, I figured you could have some on you, just in case you want to journey on your own. I accepted the gift, and we said goodbye. After closing the door behind him, I made my way to the bathroom with the bag of treats and tossed them in the toilet.